Hey, I just woke up from a nap, but I want to tell you to go check out CarnivoreCompanion.com. Use code CarnivorousChef to save 20% off your first order, and I'm going to get my big eyes out of the way so we can watch the video. Enjoy!
Alright, this one is Carnivore French Onion Meatballs, France inspired. It's a rich, cheesy, and beefy take on French onion soup without the onions. And since this is a French take on something, I went ahead and did my mise en place, which is ground beef, 1 egg, a half cup of shredded Parmesan, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper in here. It did say 1 teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of optional black pepper. Since I am a human and know how to cook, I already know that a half teaspoon of black pepper is already way too much, and I dropped a 1/4 teaspoon of salt from its measurements because I know the Parmesan's already going to be pretty salty. 1 cup of beef broth, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and a half cup of shredded Swiss cheese. So, if you already have your ingredients ready, let's go ahead and get started. So, step 1, mix ground beef, egg, Parmesan, salt, and pepper. So I guess I'll just mix until I get bored of mixing. But you don't have to go too crazy. And just as a reminder, don't forget that if you overmix this, it will get tougher. If you want that, that's fine. If you want soft and tender meatballs, then you just want to get it barely mixed. And that looks pretty good to me. So after it's mixed, it says to roll into meatballs. It does not give me a weight for the meatballs. It doesn't give me a size. It just says roll into meatballs. So I'm just going to do 2-ounce meatballs. That's usually what I go with, 1.5 to 2 ounce. And I think I've shown you how to do this about 400 times over the past year or so. But if you need another lesson, just grab 2-ounce wad of meat, roll it up, press it together a little bit, and set it down. You got a little meaty guy, and we're going to continue doing that until all the meat is used up. All right, we got the meatballs ready, and the next step is to sear meatballs in butter until brown, then set aside. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my butter in here. I've got this pan set to medium heat. As soon as this gets melted, I'm going to start adding my meatballs. And we're going to watch together as it melts. I will say that these meatballs are already quite fatty. It's weird that they want the extra butter. But you know what? I'm not going to complain about it. I bet this is going to be pretty tasty when it's done. Oh, I got 9 meatballs. I miscounted. Oh, I forgot about the weight of the eggs and the Parmesan. Once they're released from the pan, go ahead and start flipping them. I mean, honestly, they're smelling pretty good already. I think the butter's browning a little bit. It's helping to get that caramelized flavor even deeper into it. Plus, you got the brown bits that are caramelized from the beef. All right, I think these are good and seared enough. Remove these from the pan and set aside. They're still very raw in the middle, but we will be returning them to the pan soon. All right, next up, in the same pan, we will add beef broth, followed by heavy cream, and it says to reduce this slightly. I'm going to go ahead and start just kind of gently scraping the bottom to get the beef bits off of it. Pretty much just want to get this boiling, and once it is bubbling, I'm going to let this do its thing until it's about 1/3 reduced. But right now, it's still pretty watery, and I want it to be a little bit thicker than this. I want some texture to my soup. All right, once it's gotten to where you want it, you're going to add the meatballs back in. Don't forget to add any plate juices. Then we will top with our Swiss cheese. And it says to cover and let it melt, but again, I'm a human. I want this to look and taste even better than that. I'm going to throw this into the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit until, number 1, the meatballs are cooked all the way through, and number 2, the cheese is actually bubbly and brown. So that it looks like this. It went for about 10 minutes in total, with the last 2 minutes being on broil, just so I could get this cheese kind of even more melted. It's super hot right now. I highly recommend letting this sit for 5 to 10 minutes before you even begin to think about eating this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to set a 5-minute timer, and when I come back, we're going to give it a taste, finally. I added some parsley just for color. I need a pretty picture like always. Start with the meatball. It is cooked all the way through. Smells nice. It's still so hot. Rich and beefy. Let's try this steaming hot soup. Again, rich and beefy. I feel like the soup is actually even more beefy than the meatball, which is kind of crazy. I will say there is a thick layer of butter on top from where it did not tell me to remove the butter from the pan. That's fine, it's just a little extra fat, but if you're conscious of that and you don't want all that extra fat, just take the butter out of the pan before you add your broth and your heavy cream. But I will say this, overall, this is actually a pretty solid dish. I've done something similar to this where I was doing ground beef bowls, and I did a French onion ground beef bowl. This is kind of on par, but there's definitely no onion flavor whatsoever. If you want to add some onion powder, or if you eat onions and you want to add caramelized onions to this, it would make it just that much better. But honestly, this is just a solid beef meatball soup.